What if your silence could be your greatest weapon? In today's world, everyone wants attention, to be seen, liked, followed, and praised. But what if real strength lies in stepping away? Disappearing doesn't mean you're weak or lost. It means you've made a powerful decision to grow in private, away from noise and pressure. You're not running from life. You're stepping back to rebuild yourself with focus and purpose. At Think Voice, we believe the most powerful transformations happen when no one is watching. Growth isn't always loud or flashy. It's often quiet, deep, and personal. In silence, you discover who you really are, not who the world wants you to be. This kind of change doesn't need applause. It speaks for itself when the time is right. If you've ever felt the pull to disconnect and reinvent, you're not alone. Real growth begins when you stop trying to prove and start trying to become. In today's fast-paced world, many of us talk just to feel seen. We share personal thoughts, moments, and opinions hoping for likes, praise, or attention. This brings quick comfort, like a short burst of happiness. But when we do it too often, it becomes a habit. We start depending on others to feel good about ourselves. Slowly, we lose touch with our own voice. Choosing silence helps break this cycle. You stop living for outside approval and begin listening to yourself. You hear your real thoughts, not just the noise around you. Silence gives you time to reflect, to grow, and to build real strength from within. It teaches you patience, focus, and inner peace. Speaking less doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Real confidence doesn't come from being loud. It comes from knowing who you are, even when no one else is watching or cheering. Carl Jung once said, "The crowd is unconscious." He meant that most people live without thinking deeply. They follow what everyone else is doing, trends, opinions, lifestyles, without stopping to ask if it's truly right for them. They move through life on autopilot, controlled by society's expectations. But when you choose to disappear, you step out of that cycle. You stop letting the world tell you who to be. You begin to hear your own voice again. In that quiet space, you start asking meaningful questions. What do I truly believe? What kind of life do I want? This reflection helps you break free from the noise and build a path that's fully your own. You no longer live for approval. You live with purpose. That's where real freedom starts. Not in standing out, but in stepping back and finally becoming who you were always meant to be. Quiet, clear, free. Not every conversation deserves your time or energy. Talking just for the sake of being heard, whether it's gossip, small talk, or constant updates, can quietly drain your focus. Every time you speak to impress or prove your worth, you give away a piece of your mental and emotional strength. Over time, this habit leaves you feeling exhausted and disconnected from yourself. True strength doesn't come from talking more. It comes from knowing when to stay silent. Silence isn't weakness. It's a form of self-respect. It protects your thoughts, guards your emotions, and helps you stay focused on what truly matters. By building quiet boundaries, you don't push people away. You protect your peace. Choosing silence over noise means saving energy for your growth, not for approval. In a world full of noise, silence becomes a powerful shield. You don't have to shout to be strong. You just have to stay centered. Viktor Frankl once said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose." When you disappear from the noise of the world, you step into that space. You stop reacting to everything around you and begin thinking clearly. This pause gives you the chance to reflect on your life. You can finally ask yourself deep questions. Who am I really? What do I believe in? What kind of person do I want to become? In this quiet time, you're not running away, you're rebuilding. You're shaping a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Disappearing doesn't mean being lost. It means giving yourself the space to grow into the person you were meant to be. When no one is watching, you're finally free to grow without fear, judgment, or pressure. You don't have to impress anyone or perform for an audience. In this quiet space, you can build better habits, reflect deeply, and improve yourself without needing attention or applause. Private progress might feel invisible, but it's incredibly powerful. Real change happens in silence, far from the noise of social media or outside opinions. When it's just you and your goals, everything becomes more honest and meaningful. You're not chasing approval, you're chasing growth. The strength you build in private is often the kind that lasts the longest. It comes from deep within, driven by your own desire to evolve. You gain self-respect, confidence, and peace without anyone's validation. That's the beauty of silent progress. It's slow, steady, and strong. When you come back after disappearing, there's no need to explain where you were. Let your actions, growth, and calm presence speak for themselves. You'll find that people won't ask many questions. They'll simply feel that something is different. You'll look the same, but your energy will say more than words ever could. At Think Voice, we believe in quiet returns. We don't come back for applause. We come back aligned. You didn't step away to prove a point or get attention. You left because you needed space to grow, reflect, and become who you truly are. Now, your silence has shaped you, and your return is not a performance. It's a quiet arrival of someone stronger and more focused than before. But maybe you won't come back at all. Maybe you'll realize that true peace lives in the quiet, away from noise, distractions, and the need to be seen. You stop chasing trends, attention, and outside approval. Instead, you discover a calm strength inside you. Real growth doesn't need to be loud. It happens when no one's looking. You become truly independent, not just in the way you live, but in the way you think. You no longer wait for advice or follow what others say. You trust yourself. You act with purpose, not reaction. And in that stillness, you find power, not the kind that controls others, but the kind that controls you. Maybe disappearing wasn't the end. Maybe it was the beginning of becoming fully yourself. Disappearing didn't make you invisible. It made you invincible. Stepping away from the noise gave you space to grow, to think clearly, and to rebuild yourself without pressure. In the quiet, you found your strength. You didn't need to be seen to become powerful. You just needed time. Now, you move with purpose, not noise. If you're someone who's ready to grow in silence, build yourself without needing attention, and rise in your own way, Think Voice is for you. Here, we don't chase trends. We chase truth. We don't focus on the outside. We transform from within. Subscribe to Think Voice and start your quiet journey of powerful change. Your silence is not your weakness. It's your greatest strength.